Okay, moving forward, whatever it is we're discussing, it should be this now.
We're just talking about graduation.
Okay?
Should we write these down?
It's up on the board. I would suggest that you do.
I already did. Taylor's just a good boy.
So, everything that we talked about yesterday, and including today, there's a repeating theme with all of these, and that is what? It's all based off of benzene. Okay? Because it's easy to, I wouldn't say manipulate this compound, but add substances to it. And this is what makes the class next fall, that's a senior level, a little more complex. Okay? Because not only do, again, we name the organic compounds, but we also discuss the mechanisms that allows you to make things like this.
Are we going to get Mr. Wagner back or not? No, he's hired.
No.
He's gone.
He has moved on. And that's what that is meant to take place. That's
I usually forget my code. Is that yours?
what code are you talking about? Oh, Coke. That's mine.
I seen him in the hallway.
I thought I'd seen him today too.
He's just roaming around the facility.
So as you look at these, there's a reason why we're ending with the compound on the lower left-hand corner the way we are. Okay. So you could name these. You just haven't had to apply something like this before. Okay? Because if this is all based off of benzene, which it is, what is branching off of this benzene ring? Right. So, okay, everything you're saying is correct. Everything that you're saying is correct. You could do this, but I would recommend that you use the common name for this. It's not that this is wrong, but it's got what we call a common name. Looks like that could be a different type of letter. It's called toluene. Okay. All right. So the reason we say that is sometimes some of these compounds were named before that international, if you want to call it, union of applied chemists and physicists came up with different organic names. That toluene was given a name for this before methylbenzene. Okay, I certainly hope we're done with that.
Hope you start feeling better, Dave.
Okay. Then, what is this called on here? It's an alcohol. It's also called a hydroxy group. So what we mean by this, you could do this, but it also has a common name to it. It's called this. So we'll put asterisks by this, that this is what we prefer that you use for naming these compounds. The reason we're putting those top names on there is just that we can see that, okay, this makes sense. Methylbenzene. No one can argue with that because it has a methyl group branching off of the ring. That there's a hydroxy group branching off of the ring, so hydroxybenzene. But
Would that be alcohol? That's why it's
got the all.
well, you're mixing the molecule up with the name, the organic family. So what? I think there's something else that belongs on there if you're going to talk about benzenol.
Hydroxybenzenol.
Okay? And then finally, we have on the bottom here, we could say aminobenzene, but more commonly known as this. Okay? There's more that you learn at the senior level, but I think there's got to be a place to say, okay, this is enough. Okay?
Yeah, this is
There
enough.
it is.
See, I don't think I took roll yet, so let me do that quick, please.
Can we watch home improvement? Can we watch a movie on TV? Home improvement, please. We haven't seen him in so long. Give him the dual man.
Who's that new lady?
Yeah.
All right. So we said there's a reason why we end with this the way that we do. I don't know if you remember from physical science. Can we erase this, first of all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
The last time we watched it.
I would write this down too. This doesn't seem very complex, which it's not. And I don't know if you remember from physical science, but we also started to introduce amino acids as well.
Yeah, we did.
Okay?
At the tail end.
At the very end. Okay?
Way to remember, Sword. Yeah, try. You really
So-
have good memory. You know that? You remember breaking the drill, Sword? Yes. Me too.
So what do we have in common inside those boxes? Both of them have a molecule of NH2 that branch off of those. And if we don't call that bottom one aniline, what would we call it? Okay? Aminobenzene. Okay? Now, sometimes what we see happening is
Glycerin.
Glycerin.
we had something like this up on the board when third hour started. This is what organic family? Okay? So this is an ester. Okay? Because it's a combination of two separate organic families that are coming together. Okay? In other words, we've got this, and then this is the other side. Put it like this. Okay? On the left side of that dotted line, we have what organic family? An alcohol. What do we have on the right side? What's on this side? It's an acid, okay? So sometimes what happens is you put two organic families together, an alcohol and an acid, and then you form an ester. Because what happens, okay, is what we see, this gets stripped off of there, then also here. So once you remove that water, now we just have this oxygen that's bonding them together. So it's two organic families that combine to make one in this process, okay? So when we're talking about these, it's the same process. We have an amine group on the left side, and what do we have on the right side? An acid. That's why we call this an amino acid. And this particular amino acid is called glycine. Okay? So what's going to happen is there's no reason that you would know this unless you can remember from biology. But how many different amino acids are there? It's not as many as you think. A little higher than 12.
It's
A
16.
little higher than 14.
16.
A little higher than 16.
20.
There's 20. Okay? So this is one of those, you could say, well, not only you could say, you would say, one of the 20 amino acids. You will be responsible for half of those. No, maybe not quite half.
So 8 of them?
That's not. Where'd you learn that math?
You said not quite. You said not quite half, so that's.
Okay. So when I say not quite half, I would say, you did say 8. I was going to say 9 or 10. That's, I'm going to say, where did we get that math from? Okay. So then, so this is what we'll start in the future. And there's always has to be an and, because we enjoy this class so much, I know.
That's right.
Maybe you remember these guys.
Oh, I remember them like yesterday. Oh, yeah. Even that marker didn't have a little bit more color.
It's a WD-40.
Okay?
Would you recommend writing this down?
No, you don't have to. And I'm being honest when I say that. You probably don't have to. Well, no, you don't have to. In case you want to get a head start, that would be the structure for glucose. Because not only do you draw glucose, you will draw, no, I was going to say maltose, which is a disaccharide, galactose,
Dilactose.
no, sucrose,
No.
which is a combination of fructose and glucose.
West Coast.
Okay? All right. Because who knows what's going to transpire next week? Because even as we approach this week winding down, a lot of you are gone tomorrow. That's what's on the schedule now. Of course, that could change. Maybe track meet will be postponed or canceled. We'll worry about that when it gets here. Okay, you have an evaluation on Friday. Then as next week approaches, as we look, we see the 23rd. 23rd, you go to Salem, which is next Tuesday. And you leave at noon.
Where to?
Okay? Then you have another,
Yeah, where is that? Is that county?
looks like Friday, next Friday, a week from this Friday. The Madison invite, I don't know, I don't think it's Madison that puts it on. It must be another school that's just renting their facility. Okay.
Who's that?
Why is that?
I don't know. That is a Mr. Deitch or a Mrs. Preheim or Mr. Williamson question.
That's a Mr. McKinney question.
Well, it was, but I don't have an answer for you. Okay.
What are they?
That's what they're doing.
It's like our gym.
Put it in there, you can like fold it out.
Okay,
Are we drawing this?
sure.
I know what that is.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you. Why do you know what that is? Because you wrote it down.
Naphthalene.
That's naphthalene. Okay? So what can we correlate naphthalene to?
Your colors.
Dyes.
Oh yeah, mothballs.
Okay? So then we'll take this one off and move up here.
And then you got anthracene.
Okay?
And anthracene.
Mr. McKinney,
Anthracene.
Yes.
you put mothballs like on the hog when you store it up?
No.
Why not?
He doesn't have any mice with it. They might eat the wires.
It might eat the seed.
They might build a nest in the exhaust pipe.
Or your saddlebags.
That's when you can still get eaten.
See, I don't even know how to answer these questions other than just saying no. Okay?
They could. They very well could.
Wait.
All right. Then there's one more that we had talked about. Could you pronounce that again? Okay, and that's what we'll go with. And that's who's to say that that's not correct. Okay? But how do we change this anthracene to phenanthrene?
Take that last little
Oh no.
Put the middle one down and the last one up.
So it gets to be a little tricky. Okay? Okay, so there is your phenanthrene.
What's that referred to?
What's that one again?
This is a carcinogen.
Dude, my pen's not working right. Or synergy. Dude, it's starting to act.
Nicotine.
Cigarette smoke.
So, and I don't know, but you get the idea, cigarette smoke. It might be spelled differently than that. Okay, so you get the idea.
Cigarette smoke?
Cigarette smoke.
Kaylee, quit touching me.
So, one of the things that I would like to think that maybe you do or don't appreciate from this is just you're altering that compound just a little bit. So when we think of that, anthracene is probably not a carcinogenic toxin. Okay? It's just used for colors and dyes. It's what's needed for fabric to take in colors and dyes. But this phenanthrene, you just change this molecule just a little bit. Okay? Now you have a substance that can cause cancer just by altering the compound just a little bit. Okay.
Don't give it to him. Start. Start to send it over.
Okay.
It's fine already.
Oh, that's aspirin.
So I'm missing something.
That is not vanilla either.
That's aspirin.
You gotta add an OH on the right.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Now it's aspirin.
Now we've got what we call aspirin.
It's gotta be CH3
Not the OH.
Oh, it's an OH, not CH3. Okay. There's our missing OH.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right. That's a little aspirin.
So,
Now that's
see how easy it is to make mistakes on that. Okay.
Are we gonna have to draw these for you sometime?
It's gonna be a tough one.
One little mistake. You're 7.
Find out.
7 points.
Like all 6 of these?
We'll find
We
out.
have to do like multiple choice for vanilla and them?
We have to draw it. We have to draw it and name it?
You said
Are you kidding me?
And
Word
say
band?
what scent goes with it?
No, we don't need to go that far.
Yeah, we do.
Okay?
High expectations equals just great people.
So, anything to add beyond what we've discussed today? Everything over there plus toluene. Aniline. One more. Phenol. Okay. All right. So we'll catch up to you next time.